Ever been in a relationship that felt more confusing than comforting? Where one moment everything felt perfect and the next, you were questioning your worth. If you've ever found yourself overthinking every text, doubting your feelings, or apologizing for things you didn't even do, this is for you. Toxic doesn't always look like yelling or cheating. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, hidden in behaviors that wear you down over time. Let's talk about 5 signs of a toxic partner you might be missing. So many people stay in toxic relationships not because they're weak, but because the signs were disguised as love, as passion, as connection. You start off believing you found something real, only to slowly feel like you're losing yourself in the process. And it's not your fault if you didn't see it sooner. These patterns are designed to confuse you. This video isn't to shame you, it's to give you language for what you felt but couldn't explain. You deserve clarity. You deserve peace. And more than anything, you deserve to feel safe and loved. They say things like, "That never happened," or "You're imagining it." When you express how something hurt you, they twist the story. You leave the conversation more confused than when you started. That's not a difference in memory, that's gaslighting. You begin to question your own thoughts, your perception, even your sanity. If someone constantly makes you feel like you're wrong for feeling hurt, that's not love. It's manipulation. They might insist they were joking after saying something cruel, or deny making promises they clearly made. Over time, you start recording conversations in your head just to prove to yourself that it happened. You become hypervigilant, afraid to bring anything up. You start questioning yourself before you even speak. And that self-doubt slowly replaces your confidence. Gaslighting doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's subtle comments said with a smile. It makes you feel like the irrational one. And the more you try to explain yourself, the more invalidated you feel. The goal isn't to argue, it's to destabilize you. When you don't trust yourself, it's easier for them to control you. Your memory isn't the problem. Their denial is. If you constantly feel confused after simple conversations, it's a sign. Love should bring clarity, not confusion. And if someone regularly rewrites the past to serve themselves, they're not building a partnership, they're protecting a power dynamic. No matter what goes wrong, they find a way to blame you. They're stressed because of your tone. They snapped because of your question. You're constantly walking on eggshells to avoid upsetting them. And when you do speak up, you're told you're overreacting. Accountability is a two-way street. If they're never standing on their side of it, it's a red flag. In healthy relationships, people own their mistakes. They say things like, "You're right, I hurt you," or "That was unfair of me." But in toxic ones, blame becomes a shield. They deflect, deny, and turn the spotlight back on you. Suddenly, you're the one who caused their reaction. You begin filtering every sentence, trying not to upset them. You sacrifice your voice for the illusion of harmony. But that's not peace, it's suppression. A partner who never says sorry is a partner who doesn't respect your experience. You deserve someone who listens without turning it into a courtroom. And if you're always defending yourself, you're not in a relationship, you're in survival mode. Blame keeps you stuck. Because if it's always your fault, then you're the one who has to fix it. But you can't repair what you didn't break. They may say things like, "If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have reacted this way." That's not taking responsibility, that's emotional manipulation. Healthy love includes mutual accountability. And you're allowed to expect that. You should feel safe in your relationship, not emotionally exhausted. If every interaction leaves you anxious, second-guessing, or small, that's not love. That's erosion. You start editing yourself. Shrinking. You hesitate before sharing your thoughts because you're afraid of their reaction. You give more than you get, and it never feels like enough. That kind of imbalance slowly eats away at your self-worth. Real love feels like exhaling, not like bracing for impact. If you're always mentally rehearsing how to talk to them, that's not safety, it's survival. You might feel like you're the emotional caretaker in the relationship. Always soothing, apologizing, adjusting, while your needs go unnoticed. This constant caretaking drains your energy. And it convinces you that your only value is in how well you keep the peace. But peace isn't real if it costs your identity. A supportive partner lifts you. They don't leave you second-guessing yourself. They don't make you earn their affection or reassurance. If you feel more alone with them than without them, it's time to listen to that. Loneliness in a relationship is one of the loudest signs something's wrong. You're not too needy. You're not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong person. They remind you how much they've done for you. They make you feel bad for needing space, setting boundaries, or wanting more. They might say, "No one else would put up with you," or "You're lucky I'm still here." This isn't affection, it's control dressed as loyalty. If someone makes you feel guilty for growing or protecting your peace, that's not love. It's emotional blackmail. Guilt is one of the most powerful tools in a toxic relationship. It keeps you compliant, quiet, stuck. They make their presence feel like a favor. They act like they're sacrificing just to be with you. And over time, you start believing it. You stop setting boundaries because you're afraid they'll leave. You stop asking for your needs to be met because it always leads to a guilt trip. But love shouldn't feel like a negotiation of your worth. You don't owe someone your silence just because they've stuck around. True love allows space. It celebrates growth. It doesn't hold emotional scorecards. If someone constantly reminds you of everything they've done for you, it's not love. It's leverage. And real connection doesn't come with strings attached. You are not a burden for having needs. You're a human being with the right to be treated with respect. The clearest sign something's wrong? You don't recognize yourself anymore. You used to laugh louder, feel lighter, speak your mind. Now you feel small, silent, unsure. You look in the mirror and miss the version of you that felt free. That's not because you're broken, it's because you've been surviving. And you deserve more than just surviving. You find yourself saying "I'm fine" when you're anything but. You no longer do things you used to enjoy. You filter your personality to fit what they want. This isn't growth, it's disappearance. And it often happens slowly, over time. They didn't tell you to change. They just made it harder to stay the same. Losing yourself in love is never the goal. True love reflects you back to yourself, it doesn't erase you. You deserve to be with someone who makes you feel more like you, not less. Someone who values your full expression, not just your silence. If you've been dimming your light to keep the peace, this is your reminder: you don't have to. You are allowed to take up space. To speak. To feel. To be. Coming home to yourself might feel scary, but it's the most loving thing you'll ever do. You are worth returning to. Always. If any of this resonated, let me say this: you're not crazy. You're not weak. And you're definitely not alone. Recognizing toxicity is the first step toward reclaiming your peace. If this video helped you feel seen, subscribe. I create videos to support your healing, your clarity, and your comeback. Because you are not the problem. You are the pattern breaker. And the future you deserves to feel free again.